Investigation by BBC Panorama has revealed that pupils at a school for children with special educational needs were mocked, bullied and physically abused. The school, which is based in the Wirral on Merseyside, says it takes allegations of misconduct seriously and that 5 staff have been suspended. Ruth Clegg reports.
This is Live Wirral, a school which says it helps children reach their full potential.
I should teach you something easier to come apart, yeah. Especially in these things because they're so dead.
Inside, the reality is very different. This is how some at the school talk about the pupils.
Just to drown him in the bath like a kid.
After 10 seconds, I nailed him. I struck in and he hit the floor.
Those conversations were recorded by an undercover reporter for BBC Panorama, who went in after whistleblowers raised concerns about how the children were being treated.
Hello, how are you?
Sasha spent nearly 7 weeks volunteering in the sports department. The children who come here are aged between 11 and 18. Many of them have autism or ADHD. She filmed the pupils being physically abused, bullied and mocked. Paul Hamill is a member of the school's senior leadership team. This is how he talks to one of the pupils who's standing right next to him.
You're the best footballer in a disabled school. Well done, you. No, it's like being a pirate in a blind school. One of them works. I'm king here.
Later, in the car, Paul Hamill says he fantasised about killing the same boy and that the boy had overheard him.
The worst thing I've probably said and got away with, and I thought he'd gone, and he was on his way back to the place to stand. Just to drown him in the bath like a kid.
You like to what?
Just to drown him in the bath like a kid.
The BBC wrote to Paul Hamill. He did not respond. Inside the school, staff are filmed manhandling the children, wrestling them to the floor and putting them in dangerous headlocks. This is Alistair Savaramuto,
not only do we want to...
the CEO, promoting his school.
It's just on here, he just brings his arms and he lock his arms in. If I get you on the arm and lock you in,
Yeah.
he hits the floor like that, like that.
Since the school opened in 2021, it received more than £2.2 million from Wirral Council. Lawyers for Mr Savaramuto said he denies ever using inappropriate force on or behaving aggressively towards a pupil. Mr Savaramuto says he does not condone the behaviour revealed by the programme, and 5 members of staff have been suspended and will face disciplinary action. Wirral Council says it's investigating and Merseyside Police has been alerted. The Department for Education says all pupils have been removed from the school and that it will take enforcement action, including permanent closure, should the school try to reopen. Ruth Clegg, BBC News.
I just genuinely don't know where to begin with this one at all. It's just atrocious. An undercover reporter spent 7 weeks at Life Wirral in Wallasey, witnessing staff using not only offensive language but excessive restraint methods against the children at the Sen school. And you can pause this to read it. I've tried to slow it down a little bit for you. She does note that some staff were trying to do the best for the children. However, the ones that were not is just out of this world. I am gobsmacked. As a parent, you send your child to school trusting that the staff there are going to provide a safe environment conducive to their education, taking their needs into consideration, especially a Sen school. And as one mum says later on in the article, she had spent years fighting to get her child into the school, believing it would be the best place for them because it would meet their needs the best. Can you imagine how disheartening it is to actually realise that you've taken your child out of the frying pan and tossed them into the pot? Obviously, because we do trust people in positions of authority, especially when it comes to education. I mean, it's well worth pausing this bit and having a read of these. Some of the offensive terms used are just abhorrent, absolutely abhorrent. Boasting about the results following their cruel methods of punishment. I mean, you really need to read these for yourself. From headlocks to mocking to pushing. And I'm just mentioning what I can on TikTok without the video being taken down. Because some of the stuff in this is absolutely disgusting. The school's CEO had actually been sacked as a special police constable for gross misconduct and was caught saying he'd used police-style restraint methods against a pupil. It's not often I'm rendered speechless, but this has actually rendered me speechless. I can't even find the words to actually say how I'm feeling about this right now. Children were being taunted for their neurodiversity and their learning disabilities at a SEN school. They were getting picked on by staff for their tics. I mean, what kind of SEN school is this? And they were still getting good reports from Ofsted, despite several complaints. If you know that your staff are mishandling situations, then it's your job to pull them in line and to do something about it, not to turn a blind eye. She had a duty of care and failed to meet that duty of care. I'm just grateful that Sue Peacock, this lady here, was able to help get this message out there, because parents need to know that this is going on. The Department for Education had been alerted previously, and they did ask Ofsted to inspect the school. However, they maintained its good rating. Shortly afterwards, Panorama were contacted by whistleblowers, and there has been a full report on TV tonight on Panorama on BBC that people can go and watch if they wish. I mean, it's just awful. And this article goes on to go into one of the other staff members there, the other CEO even, Alistair. And he was quite frankly just in SEN education for the money. It's quite clear to see, just from his entire attitude and quotes that you can read in this article. Feel free to pause it. I mean, to be honest, the very fact that... I'll go back up so you can read it properly now, sorry. I've gone up too far. Bear with me 1 minute. I do apologise. I'm not in rage. My thumb's not doing what it's meant to do. But when we get to it here... So, don't forget that he was sacked from the police. I mentioned that earlier. And then it says here, whilst background checks are carried out, those wanting to open an independent special school don't need to have any teaching experience or any knowledge of the SEND sector. I mean, how is that even possible? You send your children to these facilities trusting that they're going to have their needs met because that is what they advertise. Across the board, education seems to be failing so many of the SEND children in this country, whether it's mainstream or it's the private sector or independent SEND schools. And something really needs to be done about this. Thankfully, this school is closed.